Hello, everyone. Nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nub Raid. The new threat rises. This is pretty high. What is going on here? A crazy teaser. Uh, the new clan boss is confirmed. It is going to be the new big content. Let's watch this teaser. It is confirmed. The new big content for the end of the year. It's been a long time since Hydra was added. Let's go. Demon Lord, Hydra. And there it is. Cracked open. Sneaky preview. Red tendrils, pulsing, biological, sort of viral infection. Spooky stuff. Spooky stuff. Very interesting. Creepy, right? Creepy. So, let's take a look at this. Let's just read the quick bit of lore here. Deep in Talaria's underbelly, beneath the Stormwind wastes, a malignant beast of untold power has begun to stir. Only the truly brave or truly foolish would dare venture underground and face the monster that awaits in the void. Wow, okay. There's a lot to unpack here. A lot to unpack. So, obviously enough, this is this clan boss over here, this void one. One thing I noticed, like over here, you can sort of see in the darkness, this is sort of the teaser image I saw. It's like all these chains, these images of chains. And even, oh, is this new? Brought into being by the malignant will of the Knights Revenant. I don't know. Only the greatest warriors of Talaria banded together will have a chance to stop this new threat. So this is some creature created by the Knights Revenant. It does look like it being chained up, and chains is a big theme. Honestly, like this image right here, you can barely see it, but it looks very much like the original clan boss. Quite like him, actually. If you look at the shape of the face, it's quite like him. You look at the teeth, and you look at this sort of expanding head. Over here, we've got the teeth. We've got the expanding head. When you actually look at it, it's kind of similar. Honestly, it's kind of similar in a few different ways. So I'm wondering if this is gonna be like some Uber version of the Demon Lord. I don't know exactly what to expect. What is intriguing to me, I'd say the Demon Lord is a very simple boss, but it was massively popular because, you know, it was simple, straightforward, but again, it's that idea of this fun challenge. You can beat it with your clan, work together. It's pretty cool. It's, you know, it's really dead content now, right? We just auto complete it, but for a long time this was universally regarded as the best content in the game by most players, and it had really good rewards as well. Hydra, I've got, by the way, a new team for this with Hellborn Sprite. Oh, doesn't look like it's going to be a good run. It's terrible on Ultra Nightmare. The team just dies. It's really good on the lower difficulties, but I'm not arsed in fixing it. Like, who cares? Hydra, when it came out, wasn't really that well received, to be honest. I loved it, but a lot of people didn't like it because it was very difficult, right? Because Hydra was very difficult, people didn't like it, and there was a lot of randomness that it was difficult to control as well. Back when Hydra first came out, you could not provoke the Head of Decay, so cleanses would happen. And yet, look, if they cleansed and then a poison cloud came out, there was nothing you could do. That was just the way that it was. And there were other changes as well, smaller changes made to it too. They made the heads do a little less damage and be a little slower, I think, and stuff like that. I think they just tweaked their stats. Some other changes I don't quite remember, but Hydra was pretty unpopular when it first came out. They nerfed it and made it easier to control the fight, substantially so, about 6 months in. It was a small but impactful change. And honestly, Hydra became sort of growing in popularity since then. I think as people get stronger champions, they started to enjoy Hydra more, broadly speaking. Yeah, and I think especially as Demon Lord sort of fell off as irrelevant beaten content for later game players, those later game players turned in a fairly substantial way across to Hydra. And especially with Hydra Clash, people were quite motivated to improve their keys. But obviously Hydra Clash has some fairly notorious balancing issues, which have, you know, they've really undermined Hydra for a lot of people, I think. But Hydra Clash has been contentious. Hydra itself, once they updated it, was really good. I'm curious where things are going to go with this boss. To be honest, I'm very curious. We definitely have this real, very tentacly theme to it, which I like. Let's run that teaser again. I'm hopeful for this to be top tier content. I think that is what the game needs, honestly. What the game needs, and I hope that this is what it's going to be. The teaser, right? That icon for it in game that's now broken in this teaser, that has been in the game for months at this point. And in fact, when I was over recording the Raid Community Awards show back in, when was I there? Like April or May? They were already hard at work on this boss. I didn't get to see anything, but they did. They told me, and I had to keep it secret, that yeah, they're working on a new clan boss. Is something they're working on. Now, I did not know what the gameplay of that ultimately would be. They gave a couple of teasers that I can't give away. I don't know if that's even what it's going to be anyway. I didn't know when this was going to come out. Turns out it's coming out, looks like the end of this year, which is pretty great. But yeah, I think we need a new big flagship end game content. Obviously, Hydra is in a bad spot right now. We'll see if they update it further. A new big end game bit of content could be really good. What I would expect from this, though, remember with Hydra, you know, Hydra, and probably the thing I love most about it, brought in a ton of champions that otherwise you wouldn't bring in. In Hydra specifically, you need 18 champions, which was a huge amount, specifically built for an area of content. And then you've got, champions that really thrive in Hydra that you wouldn't necessarily use elsewhere, that really had a place. Like Krisk came massive. I mean, Krisk had places elsewhere, but Krisk came in. Duchess was big. Champions to keep your team alive because it's a bigger team of 6 ally attack. I'm curious, will this be a 6-person boss? Will it be a 5-person team, 4-person? I'd be sort of expecting bigger teams and possibly multiple teams. We'll see. But I mean, from the game design perspective and, selling champions perspective, I would be expecting this boss to incentivize you to get and build a lot of champions that you otherwise wouldn't get and build, would be sort of my guess. So we'll see exactly what they do. I'd also expect some really powerful new gear sets from this. And, especially because it's got that red theme, this could be a big source of primal shards, possibly. I mean, honestly, Cursed City and Amius already heavily incentivize mythical champions, because, well, number one, mythicals open up lots of, and these stages are really hard, but mythicals open up a lot of stages because they can fit into so many different stages. And mythicals also have special interactions with Amius where he stuns other champions, but he doesn't stun mythicals, he just swaps their forms. So I don't know if the new boss will have like special interactions with mythicals. And we also know that they're working on an update to Faction Wars, is something that they've said. So I'd be thinking Faction Unity is more likely. Again, Faction Unity is a pretty impactful thing in Siege, as are Mythicals. And I'm expecting Faction Unity to be a big thing in Faction Wars. I'm not sure if this new boss would rely heavily on Faction Unity or Mythicals as a gimmick for your teams. And it would kind of be shit as well, honestly, because those champions are really tough to get. I find Mythicals being so impactful in Cursed City actually quite frustrating because oftentimes there aren't good alternatives. I find that actually kind of sucks. Mythicals in Siege and Faction Unity in Siege, on the other hand, I actually find to be actually kind of cool and interesting because, doesn't matter if I don't have the mythical, if someone in my clan has the mythical, then we can attempt to take on whatever, Sacred Order, only room or something. It's not just all on me having. Whereas Cursed City, hey, guess what? Nub, you don't have any of the mythicals. Well, I guess it's really hard for you. Ha ha ha. Trying to do some of those stages without Lady Mikage, for instance. It's just very frustrating when everyone else is using Lady Mikage. Like, okay, they're beating Fire Knight with Lady Mikage. How do I beat it? Oh, got no ally attack. Well, cool. Great. I guess I'll come back when I get her. Yeah, so we'll see. What can you do right now to prepare for this? That's the question. So, we've got summon events on right now. You can, of course, try to stockpile some shards and gems and energy and stuff like that. I would not overly expect the November. I mean, it's possible. I would be looking out for the November fusion or the December fusion. I guess the November one, because we're due a fusion in the next week or so. That's going to be the spicy one. because we probably won't know what this boss does when the fusion starts. I'm guessing they might reveal the boss like midway through. I don't know exactly when it's going to come out, but it's possible that you will have to decide whether or not you are doing the November fusion before you know what this boss does. So be on the lookout. If the November fusion does something quite specific and weird and unique that doesn't have a place in the game, you know, we can put 2 and 2 together. Pretty sus. All right, maybe this is going to be really good for the new boss. It's certainly possible. So that's one thing to watch out for sure. The same thing could happen with the December fusion. Other than that, you know, there could be guaranteed champions. Certainly, I would expect. Obviously, they always do this. New champions in the future, obviously, are going to be well suited to this. But there's not so much you can do to prepare. I'd also be expecting a new free login champion for December. Again, you don't really need to prepare for that at all. Just prepare to log in, but that will likely get you, there's a decent chance that a new login champion could be, you know, a good starter champion for this boss. I mean, that would make sense. We'll see if it happens. I think that's sort of really all you can do. You know, they might do some sort of guaranteed champion or some sort of fusion or something that's going to be particularly good for this boss, particularly over, you know, December, over Christmas. So you could try save up resources now, skip some events now, so that you are prepared for it. I think that's about all you can do, to be honest. But yeah, let me know. What do you think about this? Are you excited about this boss? Yeah, let me know your thoughts on it. And there you go. I again, like, this is, I guess, one thing you can do to prepare as well. If you have been sleeping on, I would say particularly the Merciless set from Cursed City. If you have been sleeping on whatever, you're really pissed about Hydra and you've not done any Hydra, like, guys, you want to get back in. Like, if you want to do this new clan boss, almost definitely protection set accessories are going to be extremely powerful. Almost definitely Merciless is going to be super powerful. So if you have some teams that you are intentionally neglecting, now would be a good time to update them. You know, basically before this boss goes live, because when this boss goes live, you're probably going to want to be sort of focusing on that for a while and building up teams and learning about that. You're probably not going to have too much time to like go back and update like Hydra teams, at least in the short term. So that would be, again, a sort of final piece of advice is fix up any teams you're fixing up right now. If you are going to be in a position to do this boss again, because it's a clan boss, it probably will open. I'm guessing it might not open until you're like level 60. I think Hydra is level 40 or 45 or something. This might be like 50, 55, 60. So I don't think it will be open for brand new players, but I think it will probably open earlier than it. Like Hydra, I think opens probably earlier than it should. It opens up and you get destroyed. You can't do anything. I'd expect the same thing with this boss. But yeah, anyway, let me know what you think. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.